All right, guys, welcome to the Monday morning new title for this call. This is our Hungry for More call. I realized when we first started this call, we had the call was labeled Level Up Call and completely spaced that there's a few other calls, or I'm sorry, one other call that was labeled a Level Up Call. So we got to be different. We got to be unique. So this is now going to be titled the Hungry for More call every Monday. It'll be live from the office at 12 o'clock here at FFL America's office in Arizona. If you guys are here in Arizona, please join us. If you're not in Arizona, obviously you can join us via the link. But pleasure to have you guys all on. As always, we are going to start with the numbers, and we're going to start with our submit numbers first. So looking at last week, FFL Republic, we submitted 97,827. Now, you know, that's a little less than 100,000, right? However, given that we only had really a 2-3 day week because we just came off convention on Saturday, and then a few people were in the field on Sunday, and then most people were in the field Tuesday and Wednesday. So relatively speaking, we double that. We're at a 200,000 a week issue or submitted numbers. So great job last week, given the context of where we're at. I'm going to highlight everybody over 4,000. So Mario R, 4,079, Erica H, 4,147, Patrick R, 4,452, Joe G, 4,627, Carlos Z, 5,152, myself with 5,450, Josh Maestis, 5,900, John K with 6,000 even, Rob Warner with 7,496, and leading the pack last week, senior sales manager of FFL Vertical, Nate Fudala with 7,620. So great job to you all there. Now, those numbers, they're all great and all, but it's not about what you submit as much as it is what you issue pay, right? Because the submit numbers is just an application going in. The issue paid numbers is the number where, or the amount of policies and premium where your client actually paid their first month's premium. So that's the more important number of the two, you guys. So we're going to look at what was issue paid for the first month, or excuse me, first week of February. So February, first week of February, FFL Republic with 102,799 in issue paid business, with 41 agents that went out and wrote business. So great job to everybody. We're going to highlight the top 10 people. Before we do that, I do want to give a quick shout out to the two other agencies that make up FFL Republic. You got FFL Vertical with 27,907 and FFL Guardian with 51,561 in their first week of business. And so the top 10 people: Travis K with 3,363, Linda B, otherwise known as Chrissy, 3,405, Lorena Z, first time on the top 10 leaderboard. Nice job, Lorena. Same thing to Chrissy, Travis, and Shaylin. So Lorena, 3,550. Shaylin here in the office, 4,167. Great job, Shaylin. Clay Sweet, 4,666. Got the devil number in there. Josh Hall, I think this is his first time on the top 5 leaderboard, so great job there. Josh Hall, 6,595, and I believe Josh has been with us for about 30 or so days, so he's killing it. On today's call, we were supposed to have Darla. We had to run an audible. Not sure if you guys know, but Texas is having a huge winter storm, and so Darla is in San Antonio, and San Antonio is literally snowed in, so they have no power. So Darla, you and the team, hope you guys are warm. Hope you guys get some power. So we had to call an audible. Instead of having Darla on today, we're going to actually have John McConnell on, who first week on the issue paid leaderboard has done 6,759 in the office with us today. Great job, John. Darla snowed out 7,133. Nate Fudala 9,467, and myself 14,054 to round out the issue pay leaderboard. So great job to you guys all. So what that means, if we do 100,000 a week, right? If you guys are aspiring to build an agency, right? Like I look at last year, January of 2020 was the first month where FFL Republic hit vice president level, right? And we did, I think it was 179,000 in a month. And now fast forward 1 year, we did 100,000 in a week, right? So sometimes it feels slow, the growth, sometimes it feels a little faster, but the key is to continuously push, continuously find people, help people, and continuously grow. And now we're doing 100K a week, and soon we're going to be doing 200K a week. So great job to everybody. The next thing I want to talk about real quick, you guys may have heard some updates on this, but I want to talk about the new program, which some of you are aware. Now, if you guys haven't already done so, go on fflamerica.com, go into the downloads page and download the new credibility sheet. You want to make sure that your credibility sheet now has Aetna CVS on it, okay? So if you go in there, I downloaded it today. This is what it looks like. If you don't have it on your credibility sheet, you're missing out, okay? Now, why am I talking about Aetna? A few reasons. Number one, Aetna has a new final expense product that is lights out, guys. I'm talking one of the best products in the industry and one of the best products in our portfolio, okay? So I'm going to talk about the product, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about how we should be using it and the flow of how we should be using it. So first off, there's no, so let me take a step back. Their age range is from 40 to 89. So they have the widest gap of people that we can actually protect from ages 40 to 89. It's kind of crazy to think that I fit in the Aetna product at this point. I don't even know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. I'm feeling some kind of way, actually. So anyway, so from 40 to 89. Number two, they have no build charts, which means they don't ask any height or weight questions, which means if you have a person that's maybe really small or really big or really tall or really short or whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter their shape or size. You don't even have to ask that question. So that's number two. Number three, one of the things that a lot of us run into in the field is clients that have COPD. And COPD is one of the hardest things to get approved for immediate coverage, or it might be very expensive. The great thing about Aetna CVS is that their program, you can get them a standard rating if they have COPD, right? So if they have COPD, you can get them immediate coverage and standard with a standard rating, which is awesome. So if you run into someone with COPD and they fall in this age range, you should be turning to Aetna as your number one option, okay? So why am I saying this? Number one, this is better for our clients, right? So if it's better for our clients, we should be using that because our goal is to service our clients as best as we can. Number two, it's better for us. This is the top paying product on the final expense side outside of America, okay? So the way I'm going to be using it and the way everyone that's listening or everyone within FFL America will be using it is as simple as this. You go America first, then you go to Aetna CVS, then you transition into the others based on medical eligibility, okay? Aetna is very price, they're one of the most competitive in terms of price as well. And then there is some additional discounts if you run into a client that happens to have Aetna CVS for Med Sub. They get additional discounts on their monthly premium on the final expense side. So it makes it even that much cheaper if you run into someone that has that product already. So great for the clients, great for us on a compensation standpoint. Think about the brand recognition. I mean, there's CVS's on every corner in every state, right? So it just makes it easy when you're talking about brand recognition to sell it also. So guys, make sure you start looking at that. If you haven't already done so, go through the app, play with it. It's very simple. Literally, it goes through all the medical questions and it tells you if you answer yes here, they will be approved for either graded, standard, or premium. So it's a great product, very easy to use. The app flows smoothly. So make sure you get familiar with that and make sure you start using that on the final expense side moving forward. So that way your clients are in a better position, but really you become more profitable, right? So it's a win-win. If you're more profitable, you're going to stay in business longer. You're going to be able to get more leads and continue to grow your business and find more people. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about, is travel trips, guys. So if you happen to be in a market and you're like, man, there are no leads in the CRM, man, I feel like there's a lot of agents here, or man, like I don't know, I just need to go somewhere else where there's more leads, right? Whatever the case may be, the thing I want you guys to understand is there are no limitations in this business. Absolutely none. The only limitation that you have in this business is right here. It's in your own mindset, right? So what is your self or your limiting belief? What is your limiting belief? Is it lack of leads? Is it lack of skill? Is it lack of finances to buy leads? Whatever the case may be, if you're not accomplishing what you want in this business, or you're feeling like you're in a rut, or you're any of this stuff, it's a limiting belief that's going on in here, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing that up is we are in Arizona, obviously, that most of you know. There's a bunch of people in Arizona, lots of agents, but there's still tons of agents making tons of money out here, okay? But if for some reason you can't get your hands on leads, whether it's Arizona, California, whatever the state you're in, it doesn't matter. You need to literally pick yourself up and go where the leads are, right? So I know it sounds simple and sounds kind of like, all right, well, kind of elementary, but the thing is you have to get out of your comfort zone if you want to grow, right? You've heard Dave Anderson, and I even said it last time, give up to go up. I'm going to use Nina as an example. You guys all know Nina D out of our office here. Obviously, she was in a position where she couldn't really get as many leads as she wanted here in Phoenix. So what did she do? She gets leads in other areas, right? Minnesota, Ohio, Hawaii, whatever. She's traveling. And now, because she didn't limit herself to just thinking Arizona, now she's out there being a top producer, Hall of Fame producer, right? And so I tell you that because even myself, like I'm going on a travel trip this week. This is my first travel trip. I've been fortunate enough to run business in Phoenix for the most part. But I'm running to New Mexico, right? And what did I do? Literally last week, I went in the CRM and I looked, and there was there was more than that, but I bought 170 leads out of New Mexico, right in Albuquerque. It's an hour flight. So I hop on a flight, I get a hotel, I'm gonna get a rental car, I'm gonna go run appointments, and I'm gonna make some money, right? And so you think about it, right? Like you run the numbers. If I buy 170 leads, I think it cost me about $1,300 because I bought a bunch of internet, second chance leads, etc. I'm going to spend, my flight was, I think, $300 round trip. That's $1,600. And then the hotels are like $50 a night. So I'm going to spend an extra $200, let's call it. Right. So what's that? 1,300, 300, 1,600. Let's call it another 400 with food and my hotel, right? And then a rental car. Let's call it a little over $2,000. How many sales do I need to break even out of, even if it was 2,200 with the rental car, food, and all that? 2, maybe 3, right? And what if I make 5, 6, 7, 8 sales? I have 170 leads, guys, right? So you have to put the numbers in your favor, and you need to start thinking bigger, right? Don't play to not lose, play to win, right? Be aggressive, be on the offense, right? Go out and attack. And when you do that, you're going to start to see this business change. You're going to start to see your profitability go up and your belief level goes up. But when that stuff starts to happen, everything becomes easier. The emotion comes out of the business, and now you can just operate and execute at a very high level. And so I challenge you guys all to do that. All right, next up, guys. So I mentioned we have a little audible. So we were supposed to have Darla on. Instead, we're going to have John McConnell up. So we're going to bring John McConnell up. He's here in the office. Come on up, man. And let's give him a round of applause here. Scoot this back a little bit. Come on in, man. Have a seat. All right. How you doing, man?
Really good.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
So, John, why don't you start off by telling everybody kind of what your background is and then how we linked up.
Okay. My background is sales. I've been doing sales for about 15 years, different types of sales, door to door, nothing insurance. So this was brand new to me. A lot of the processes were brand new to me. So I had to learn from scratch.
And how was that?
So for some reason, I like to make mistakes, even if I don't have to. I can learn from other people, but I choose to continue to make them. But
don't we all, right?
Exactly.
We all do that. Okay.
Yeah. So dial day was really difficult for me because in the past I've tried to work as little as possible, but be as profitable as possible. So with this, it's so easy that if you just put the time in, you're gonna do really well.
Okay. So let's take a step back. So you did door-to-door sales.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You and I connected through a mutual friend,
Mm-hmm.
right? What did you see about Family First that attracted you to Family First from what you were used to anyway?
Actually, I was a day away from signing up with a different agency for health, but I got really lucky. I was referred to Julius through a mutual friend, and I'm so glad I did, or I probably wouldn't even be doing insurance right now.
Okay.
So I got lucky.
So,
right at the last second.
So what about Family First Life changed your direction? Because you said you were going to go the health side. We met, we talked, I introduced you to this. What about this that you saw that really was like, wow, this sounds so much better?
Comp. That was probably the biggest thing for me. A career salesperson, obviously you're wanting a company product that you believe in, but the biggest difference I noticed from the start was the comp was 2-3 times more than the other agency.
Okay, so you realize on the health side you're being paid a third of what we can make here, so it's your income is substantially exponential.
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. And obviously now you're working with Clay. You're killing it. Last month you did what? Just over 25K in issue paid business?
Yes.
Okay, so 25K in issue paid business. Great job. That's not your first month doing that either, correct? You've done that a few times now, if I'm not mistaken.
Third month.
Third month doing that. Okay, and then this past week you submitted already what? Just right around 10K?
For the weekend, 9,800.
So 9,800, and you ran what? Saturday and Sunday, or Friday, Saturday?
Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday. So great job. All right, so let's kind of get into it, right? Because we got a bunch of people online. We have a bunch of people in the room here. Let's share with them what you're doing and what's been working for you, right? Because it hasn't all worked always, right?
No.
All right. We got to be vulnerable here, man. It's okay, right? Like no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. We go through our ups and downs. So let's start by talking about what you've been challenged with, and then let's talk about what you've been doing. Okay. So let's talk about what have you been challenged with up until, kind of recently.
Well, from the start, dial day has been my toughest day. The discipline to stay on the phones. I feel like if I would have been as focused as some of the other people that have had a lot of success, like Erica, who tore it up right off the bat. If I was putting even half as much effort into appointments, I would be doing twice as much. So that's been a big learning curve for me so I've invested in phone burner. I've invested in noise cancellation headphones. I go to my car now to dial instead of at the office or anywhere. So I'm really focusing on no distractions. Anyone that knows me probably knows I'm ADD. I get distracted really easy. It doesn't matter if it's my phone, a TV, hear a noise here, and I'm off doing something else. So,
okay. So let's talk about that. So staying focused, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And how many of you guys that are on here today have struggled with maybe in the beginning or even recently with just being focused and locked in on dialing? If you have, drop a me in the chat. And look, guys, this isn't about anything other than learning and getting better, right? Because I know I've had that struggle, right? Am I there now? No, right? Because we go through it, right? But look how many people, you're not the only one, right?
Yeah.
There's other people that have had this struggle and maybe even continue to have this struggle. So I heard you say a few things. Sounds like you dial in your car now.
Yep.
Okay. Tell us about that.
Andrew Taylor.
You got that from Andrew Taylor. So tell us about that. Why your car?
Well, I mean, you're free of all distractions and your phone's hooked up on phone burner. So you're not getting calls in. I got a laptop. Everything runs through my computer. It's really easy. I just grab a little laptop and go to the car and everything's set up for me. So that's made a huge difference. I'm not doing it exactly like Andrew Taylor. I'm not going to sit in a garage with the door closed. I'm not doing that, but I just go to a park free of distractions with a nice view, and I can get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours straight in without any noise, distractions, or any problems.
Okay. And because coming to the office, there's a bunch of people. Do you start to chat or what?
I like to chat.
You're a chatty guy. All right. So we got a chatty Kathy here. All right. No worries. And all of us are like that, right? I mean, I think we're all human, right? We like to socialize, but at the end of the day, this is work, right? And I think sometimes people struggle with that. So if that's you, and maybe you have an office that you go to, or you work from home and maybe you have some distractions, maybe pick that up, right? Maybe go in your car, go away from the house and just lock in and dial, right? All right. So dialing has been a distraction. That's changing, right?
Yeah.
So since we're on the topic of dialing, why don't we talk a little bit about what your script sounds like and share with everybody what kind of script what your script sounds like. But before we do that, what leads are you running and where are you running?
So I'm always trying to find second chance mortgage protections, because I'm closing about 70% of the mortgage protection appointments I go on. And there's so much money and so much room. You actually, with those, you feel like you're truly helping somebody with a substantial amount. You're protecting kids, wives, husbands from loss of income, losing their home. So I definitely believe in those products. Final expense is important too. So I also pick up happy agents, game times, always on instant internet leads, because the return on those is amazing. New internet life leads. And then as far as mortgage protections, I'm going to be expanding towards retros and call-in leads. I just started to reinvest with other states. So I got my 3rd through 7th license. So I'm going to be going to New Mexico myself. I'm going to be going to Ohio, Utah, California, Oregon, Washington.
Okay.
I got a bunch of different options to go to now. So I don't have to just sit here and wait for one CRM lead at a time purchase.
Got it. So now when you started, were you purchasing as many leads as you're purchasing today?
No.
Okay. So when you started, what were you mainly doing?
Second chance leads.
Okay.
It got off to a good start. But I mean, for consistency, you definitely need to diversify. That was one of my keys to hitting Hall of Fame this year. I set up a video with Julius committing to hitting Hall of Fame this year.
What was your repercussion if you didn't? Do you remember?
I actually said there is no repercussion. I'm just going to hit it.
All right. He's confident. I think we need to keep him accountable.
Yeah.
Do we shave his head if he doesn't hit it? I know that's like a thing. Everyone says yes. You're down?
I'm down.
So you're that confident you're going to hit it?
Absolutely.
All right. So we shave his head. It's recorded here on today's call, February 15th. All right. All right, cool.
I'm going for 520, 400.
You got this, bro.
I'll be disappointed.
All right. So a few key things I want you guys to take away, right? So what did you hear him say? He started out buying leads in the CRM. He had some success, but he realized he had to increase the amount of leads, right?
Yeah.
And he had to diversify his leads, right? So now, pick up on the leads that he orders, right? What are the leads he orders? Game time, happy agent, second chance, internet leads, right? I mean, he's running a gamut, and now he's also going to be traveling, right? And so this is the type of activity that you should expect if you want to make 20, 30, 40 grand a month, right? You got to work, you got to run. All right, cool. So you're running a bunch of different leads. It looks like you're traveling now. You're going to be traveling. Okay. So talk to us about, let's do a role play of your phone script.
Okay.
What were you just dialing right now?
I was dialing happy agent leads with a hobby.
Okay. So let's do those. Okay. I'll be the client. Obviously you be you. Let me grab that. Okay. And let's do it.
Ring.
Hello?
Yeah, this is John. I'm your field underwriter that was assigned to getting you the information that you requested on Facebook. You put your favorite hobby as sledding.
Sledding. Yeah.
Okay. My job is just to get that information out to you. Whatever you decide to do with it's totally up to you. Now, when you were filling that out, were you thinking more about just maybe making sure there's no burden left behind for your family when you pass?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I take care of everything.
Okay, that's what most people are filling this out for. Now, they do have me dispatched in your area on Tuesday and Wednesday. Are you single, married, widowed, or divorced?
Single.
Okay, you still working? Are you disabled? Are you retired?
I'm retired.
Okay. So like I said, they do want to make sure that you are who you say you are. Make sure no one's requesting coverage in your name. Also, They do want to make sure you're not saying you're a non-smoker on the phone while lighting a cigarette. So,
Okay.
again, they do ask that I come out there, ID, make sure you're not already passed and somebody's trying to request coverage in your name. Are you more of a morning person or afternoon?
Afternoon.
Okay. Any reason you wouldn't be home tomorrow? Do you have any doctor's appointments on Tuesday or Wednesday?
No, nothing that I can remember.
Okay, so I'm going to be there between 10 and 11. Is there any reason you can think of that you're not going to be home between 10 and 11?
No, I think I should be good.
Okay, so let's confirm your address. I have 123 North Main Street. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and is that a house or is that an apartment?
It's a house.
Okay, and is the address, is that on the house? Is that on the mailbox? Is that on the curb?
It's on the house itself.
Okay. Do I have your permission to call you if I do get lost?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. So I know I probably don't have to ask, but you sound like you're an honest person. Is there any reason I should doubt that you're going to be available for the appointment?
No, I'm pretty honest.
Okay, perfect. Well, grab a pen and a piece of paper. I'm going to give you my information really quick so we can make sure we don't miss you.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Got it. Good job, man. So a few things. You heard how he cleared the schedule, right? So he said a few things there where he wanted to make sure the person's home first, right? Are you working, retired, disabled? Right? Told him I'm retired. Okay. Is there any reason you can think of that you won't be home tomorrow at 10 and 11? No, right? You said one other thing. You sound like an honest person.
Yeah.
And what was the rest of your wording there?
So you sound like an honest person. I'm sure I don't have to ask, but is there any reason you could think of that you wouldn't keep this appointment? And sometimes I'll say stuck out in the cold if I'm in a cold area, or if I'm just running through traffic to help you and you're not home.
Got it. So he's asking a few other questions just to make sure those extra, 15 to 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Just to cement that they are going to be there when he books his appointments. Now, you didn't do that when you started.
No.
Now, so since you've done that, how has your show rate improved, or has it, or you tell me?
Well, now that I keep it shorter and sweeter and I'm not looking to get into any type of conversation about what we're going to be accomplishing on the appointment, the only thing I'm doing is my job's just deliver the information. So anything more than that, I get right back to it. And if they have a problem with that, I'm basically on to the next phone call. But I'm not going to book a full schedule where I can't help other people because I'm already on a full schedule and I haven't solidified any of the appointments. When I was first running appointments here in Maricopa County specifically, I was at about a 30-40% show rate, and that's why it was so inconsistent. Now it's 70-80%. Just asking those few extra questions.
That's solid. That's solid. If you guys got some value out of that, drop a 100 in the chat. So if you guys have a problem with show rates, take those lines, right? Do exactly what John just did, and that will help you improve your show rates. And guys, 80% of this business is sitting down with somebody. The rest of it will take care of itself. So if you've been getting no showed and you're just not sure what to say and how to say it, do exactly what he's done, and that'll help you from an appointment perspective. Cool, man. So it's not that hard, right?
It's not that hard. Just got to work.
You just got to work, and you got to find the tracks that work for you. What are you said you keep a few bullets when we talked earlier. What are the few bullets that you keep when you dial that remind you of what you need to be doing on the phone?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm ADD, so I'll even get distracted in the converson I'm in, let alone try to remember the questions I need to ask.
Dude, how do you even sell anything? Like, I don't even, what?
I don't know. Deep breaths.
Okay.
Deep breaths.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, so go ahead. Tell us about these bullets.
So first one is I have 12 different ones, and it's basically because you don't want to sound scripted. Nobody wants to talk to a robot. So I try to keep it conversational. Each call's flow is different, but I just try to stay on track with making sure I'm asking those important questions that solidify the appointment. Because you'll find if you don't ask that, can I count on you question, all of a sudden, I've actually tracked it, my show rate goes down about 30%. Just that one last question. And it makes that much of a difference. And my average sale is about 1,400 AP. So would you take 10 or 15 seconds extra to make 1,400
every day.
I definitely would.
Every day.
So, but mainly just focusing on what I struggle with, those bullet points. I'm always good at improving. I don't need a script, but I definitely need structure. And so that structure I took exactly from your script, Clay's script, all the training, which is actually mentioning it, training in between appointments and listening to Mobile University. That's made a huge difference because I'm always on track mentally, focused on work.
So explain to them what exactly you mean by that, Mobile University, because some people may know what that means, but some people may not. So just give them a little insight on what that means for you.
Okay, so I picked my favorite topics. So if I'm running to an older single, possibly couple that's wanting mortgage protection, of course, I'm going to pull up John Wetmore's training. I've actually watched that probably 30 times. And my closing percentage watching that before, it's like my lucky charm. I'm at about 80% closing on that, as long as I watch that video before I go to the appointment.
Okay.
So just have it on the car stereo, and if I'm going to a final expense, I have a whole list of final expense videos. And then sometimes I just watch one video and then let it run through all the different similar videos. So you can pretty much search for anything, something FFL, something you're struggling with, FFL on YouTube, and you're going to find a whole bunch of videos that help you specifically on what you're struggling with.
So you're being very targeted in your learning, right? So if you know you're going to an appointment for final expense, you will play it in the car as a refresher to make sure you're using the right word tracks, you're flowing. That's awesome, man. The same thing for mortgage, et cetera, right?
Yep.
That's good. That's good. And I think that's what it takes to become a top producer, right? Is you got to learn from the people that have come before you and do it when you're about to be in the moment. So for me, when I started, I was listening to a lot of Paul McLean, right? Like I had an appointment and I'm literally on the road to the appointment listening to Paul McLean so I can regurgitate what he's telling me. And I would do that over and over and over. And so for you guys, if this is your first call that you've been on, maybe you've been here for a month or longer, maybe you've been here for a year, whatever, and you're not seeing the growth you want in certain aspects, do exactly what John's doing. Be very targeted in your search, be very targeted in your learning, and do it right before. Not only right before, I'm assuming that's not the only time you learn that, but you're refreshing your mind just before you go into the appointment so you're locked and loaded.
Always almost one or two things I'm like, oh yeah, I want to make sure last time maybe I didn't do that quite as good and I want to make sure I do that better. So I'll just constantly learning is a big thing. When I first started the first 4 or 5 months, I'm not sure if you noticed, I tried to do it all by myself, tried to rewrite the wheel, figure it out all by myself. And that's why I was so inconsistent.
That didn't work out very well. Huh?
It didn't, no, but when we made that video in a commitment to hit Hall of Fame and now shave my head, you better believe that I'm going to be far more focused towards the 4 things that I've narrowed down are things that I need to work on this year to hit Hall of Fame. Okay. So first one is invest in more leads with diversity. So I'm going to be looking at call-in mortgage protection leads through Mail Pro. I'm going to be looking at retro leads, but I got 5 new state licenses. So I'm going to go to those states with just instant leads first, maybe game times or happy agents, and I'll graduate. So next week I'm going to Santa Fe, and when I sell 5, 10, 15, 20,000 there, I'm going to use those funds to reinvest in buying buy per lead orders. So I'm going to let my performance dictate where I'm investing in those states. And then just make regular travel trips. So second one is make up to 2 travel at least 2 travel trips or more, even if they're 2 or 3 days or a week, 2 a month. That'll get you out of your comfort zone. It'll also help because Phoenix is a little bit of a challenge to find leads sometimes, but there's all these different places out there. Virgin Islands is one that I'm actually thinking about. So third one, my biggest struggle is attacking dial day. So that's going to be probably one of the most important things for me to get better at. I hate to say it, but my average so far with this job.
Don't say it then. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
It's like 7 appointments every 2 days. So if I look at my production, what it would be if it was 15 appointments, it's such a huge difference. It's like 20,000 a week.
Now, when you say 7 appointments average, are you talking about from the time you started till now?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at what about your last 30, 45 days? How many average appointments every dial day?
10, 11.
Okay, so just an incremental increase of 4, 5 appointments has made a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Now you ratchet that up to from 11 to 15. Now what are you going to be able to do?
A lot more. And that's why I say diversity in your leads is so important. We get a lot of internet leads or call-in leads through Second Chance on the CRM, but what you don't find a lot of times on there is the mail-ins, which shows a lot of intent. So if I remember back to when I had the retro leads in Washington State, they never were mistaken on whether or not they filled it out. Yeah. It's pretty easy appointment. They may not know exactly what it is, but you're going to their home. So those are so much easier to book. And that's why I say diversity this year is going to be, and reinvesting in leads is going to be so important to me, hitting 500,000.
Now for dial days, how many new leads do you have for every dial day on average?
6, whether they're Second Chance, but
new
not
to you.
My Second Chance.
New to you.
Mm-hmm.
How
60 to 120.
Every dial day or for the week?
Every dial day.
Every dial day. So you guys heard that, right? So for what he's doing is he's making sure there's new leads in his CRM, or what, it doesn't have to be in his CRM, just new leads to him. Doesn't matter if they're brand new or Second Chance, but it's his first time dialing them. Every dial day, 60 to 120. Okay, yep. Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about in-home, right? Obviously we talked about leads, we talked about dialing, and that's the meat of our business, but let's talk in-home. Talk to the team a little bit about what you do in the home, just in terms of setup, structure, your opening, things like that. Is there anything you do different? Maybe give them an example of it, so that way they can take it and use it and make money this week.
Yeah, so I'm not big on rapport. I feel like rapport. So my biggest struggle still to this day is getting out of homes fast. A little bit embarrassing, but I probably average about an hour and 15 minutes an appointment. And so all of these things I can really improve. And so this year at the start of the year, I'm really focusing on efficiency, but getting into the home, I have trouble still getting people to stop talking about irrelevant things. I try to be direct. I'll even ask. So one thing I've been doing lately to get out of appointments, because I ran 7 on Saturday and still managed to sit down with all 7 and still in like 8 hours. So one thing I've been doing is saying, so I'm ADD. Can you turn off the TV first of all?
You said that to them?
Yep. Turn it off. Okay. Let's get that off. And I don't say it rudely, but yeah, emphatically, like, it's going to distract me from helping.
So how would you say, give them an example of exactly how you, so if my TV's on, what are you telling me? I got the remote, let's say it's here. What are we doing?
Yeah. So can you please, I'm ADD and I get distracted easy. Is there any way, I really want to make sure I can help you? Can you turn that off?
Oh yeah, sure. So very kindly, okay, very easily.
Please. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so now they know we're down to business. And then one of the things I've started asking is, like I mentioned to you before, I'm ADD. I get all over the place sometimes. So can I have your permission? If we get too far off track, can I give you a reminder I got to go? Because I'm actually supposed to be at my next appointment in 30 minutes.
So you're literally using that your entire.
I don't have time for this.
I love it. All right, so let me give you guys a tip if you're not ADD, because not everybody's ADD like John, right? And so let's relate to everybody here, right? So one of the things I do is if the TV's on, I say something like, hey, John and Mary, I know this is important to you. That's why you sent the request in. Can you guys just go ahead and turn that TV down or off so we can go ahead and make sure I have your undivided attention, right? And so they'll always turn it off, right? So just something like that. You don't have to blame it on being ADD, right? Another quick tip, if you're not and you need to keep your in-home appointment on track, is hey, John and Mary, I'd love to sit here and chat with you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys have some great stories. I do have to be respectful of your time as well as mine. I do have a few other clients waiting for me. So, maybe we can find another time to catch up and talk some more about this. And that way they're like, oh yeah, and you just kind of move on.
Yeah.
So that's some of the things that I do if you guys need some help with that as well.
Yep.
So all right, so we're now sitting at the table. Okay, you sit down, you got them to turn off the TV. Now what?
So very direct. So I have definite structure. This is the part that I haven't struggled in, which is why I just need to get in front of more people. So I have my credibility sheet. I have all of my state licenses. So I'll just have the one for instance, Arizona. So I get right down to it. So I show them the credibility sheet, license, their request, all of those things I feel like create credibility.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you show them your financial inventory. So I'm on your side. My job is to help make sure it's affordable. There's no point in putting anything in place if you're not going to be able to keep up with it till the day you die. So number two is make sure you're comfortable with how fast it pays out. And then third, my job as a broker is to bridge the gap between you and the carrier. So my job is going to be to find one that you're likely to qualify for and get that application submitted. Has everything I said made sense?
Yes.
So let's get right to it. So I'll go through my financial inventory. That staying focused on that. And again, I've already asked permission to make sure we don't get off track about some medication or some illness that elderly people tend to get off track pretty easy. So very structured there. I can get to my recommendation within 4 or 5 minutes. If it's a mortgage protection appointment, I don't focus on the coverage amount because a lot of times seniors can't get the whole mortgage covered. So like John Wetmore says, focus more on what it's doing than the dollar amount. So I'll look at, if they're limited financially, I'll look at 3, 6, 9 months. If they have plenty of funds available for protecting their family, I'll look at 6, 12, and 18 months or more. So depending on their budget. But
you're always showing 3 options.
Yeah, and they don't even see the dollar amount until the end.
What does that mean?
They already know what it does. So you're already building the value. So if 3 months is $120, but you know that's $15,000, no sense in giving in a potential objection before they even have a chance to know what the value is. So I build more the value on how long they'll be able to pay the mortgage and protect that equity for this amount of money, for this many bucks, to minimize it.
Okay, so give us an example. I get what you're saying, but like, let's give everybody the word tracks, right? Because I don't know that they have the word tracks, and I think that'll be helpful for them.
Yeah.
So let's say, we'll say $15,000. Let's use that example. That'll cover my mortgage for 1 year. So explain to us how you would explain it to the client.
Yeah, so obviously to sell the home, I've already asked in my financial inventory, is your family, who are you protecting? Are they going to move into the home? Are they going to try to sell the home?
Mm-hmm.
So I know exactly what direction we're going. We know how much the mortgage is each month. We know what the electricity bill is, because obviously you need lights to sell the home. So you just do simple math. If you're doing 6 months, you take the light bill plus the mortgage and times that by 6.
Okay.
And then you look up your quote for what the times 6 times 9 times 12 is, and put that coverage amount. And instead of writing the coverage amount, you just put the monthly premium for 6 months of protection, for 9 months of protection, or 12 months of protection. So they're not so focused on the coverage amount. That's not enough for $100. So they know that eventually, because you review your application after you're filling it out. But up until that, they're buying 6 months of protection for their kids or for their spouse.
So you're showing them 12 months, 9 months, 6 months, and then you're asking which of those they like best, and then you show them the quote after they pick that one. Is that what you're saying?
I show them the quote. So based on, so the exact
option,
words.
we should use the word quote, but yeah.
So based on the, and you can't make the decision now, but based on, I'd love to make the decision, but I'm not the CEO of America. That's why I'm the grunt out here delivering the information for you. So based on the premium, but the amount of coverage, which one of these checks would you like your spouse or your son or your daughter to receive?
So you're showing all 3 premiums with the actual coverage, and you just ask them that question after.
I'm showing how many months and the price tag for those months.
Correct.
I don't show the coverage amount until after.
Got it. Okay, so you're not showing the actual coverage amount because that's irrelevant. It's just how many months of the mortgage will they cover, and then they'll know exactly how much dollars it actually is later.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that helps you avoid like, oh, well, I don't want to pay $100 for 12 grand or 15 grand. Is that why you do that?
You simply build the value in what it's doing without that distraction.
Got it. That's actually really good, man. I never thought about that. That's solid. Because I'm always doing, here's 12 months, 9 months, 6 months, but here's the dollar amount that it equals and then the premium. But I have heard that sometimes we're like, well, it's only 12 grand. Well, it's what the 12 grand can do.
Exactly.
So it gets their mind off of the 12 grand. So that's actually smart. Drop a 100 if you guys like that. That's a nugget. That's really good. Drop a 100 if that helps you. So, all right. So you do that. I'm assuming you do top down selling, right? Show your top option, middle option, bottom, right? 3 options.
Yeah. And how do I get there?
I think you just kind of told us, right?
So how I get to what I'm going to show how I get to whether I'm going to show them 3, 6, 9, whatever is I'll take whatever amount, and I'm pretty thorough. I find out what their bills are estimated, how much income do they have left over, and how much do they normally save. So based on that, I'll start from what I think they can afford at the most, and then I'll give the top 2 options above that. What I'm doing is I'm actually finding I'm driving up my premiums. So lately they've all been around $1,700 to $2,900 annual premium, because they're still picking the middle, but that's a little bit above what I would normally propose. And if they're going to pick it, that's on them.
So how do you know what the bottom one is, the baseline? Are you asking them where you at, or what do you say?
So no, I just base it off of, I'm into math. So I just base it off of like 5 to 7%, maybe 10% of their income. And then I just plug that in with how much their mortgage payment is. So that's where I'm finding how much breathing room they have. A lot of people pay extra towards their mortgage. So I'm proposing the biweekly payment, which I found through a training online, to help eat up more towards the principal. Like 1 in 10 people know about that.
Okay. So you're giving them value too. Here's some free knowledge. Make biweekly payments. It'll pay down your principal. So now you're an expert in your field, right?
And then you just found $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $1,000 of potential premium and money that they were spending that they could put right back into their budget or invest in protecting their family.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. So let's wrap this up. Any other tips you want to leave the folks with on something that could help them go out and make money this week, right? Whether it's dialing today, whether it's in home, one of both, whatever you want to leave them with today.
Yeah. So the biggest thing would be dial day. Just focus on your dial day. Today is the day that you make your money. And every day that you don't put in all the time that you need to, whether that's 8, 10, 12 hours, it doesn't matter. Would you rather be broke, or would you rather spend 8 to 12 hours on the phone?
No one wants to be broke.
No, I hate being broke.
It tastes better not being broke. 100%. It tastes better not being broke. All right, guys. So you guys heard it here first from John McConnell. What's your goal this month, man?
40,000.
40,000 in February.
40,000.
You got it. You got it. 40,000 in February. Hall of Fame, or we're shaving his head. He's committed. Guys, give it up for John. Drop a JM in the chat if you guys found some value. So it's dial day. If you haven't booked up your appointments, which is most of us, we still got a bunch of time left. Jump on the FFL Dial team. That's ffldialteam.com. Dial with your teammates. I promise you, it's easier. It's more fun. You hear we all get the same stuff, right? You get hung up on, I get hung up on. No one's any better. No one's any different. Learn from the people. Get the word tracks. Go out there. Book the appointments. The magic's in the appointments. Would you agree?
I love
the magic's in the appointments. So go out there. Book it up. Book up your day. Let's go have a big week. We got a full week to go. We got 2 weeks left in the month. Let's hit it strong. 2021 is going to be huge. So guys, with that, we're going to be done for today. Stay hungry, you guys. We'll see you next time.